Same-sex marriage is back on the agenda after accidental Senator David Leyonhjelm called for the coalition to have a conscience vote, presuming, of course, that anyone in this government has a conscience. Now, I don't want to get my hopes up, but I've got a feeling we might see some progress this year for same-sex marriage. After all, we've finally got a Prime Minister open-minded enough about the idea.
Homosexuality. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I probably feel a bit threatened.
Tony Abbott there, knowing every man wants to him. But at least he just feels threatened and hasn't actually acted on that.
Abbott Government to challenge ACT same-sex marriage law.
My bad. And when Leyonhjelm addressed the media about his same-sex marriage bill, there was a surprise visitor, Liberal Senator Cory Bernardi, seen here definitely thinking about women. And it makes sense that he was at the press conference because, as he'll tell you, Cory understands it's important to look at both sides and be respectful in this debate.
I understand that this is a very sensitive debate.
And let's see some of that sensitivity, shall we?
There are even some creepy people out there who say that, you know, it's okay to have consensual sexual relations between humans and animals, and you know, will that be a future step?
Now I understand why Cory was at the press conference. He just wanted to make sure Leyonhjelm wasn't about to marry his cat. Bernardi was, of course, punished for those offensive statements he made in 2012. He was forced to resign as Tony Abbott's parliamentary secretary, and more importantly, at the next election, was forced to settle for the top spot on the South Australian Senate ticket. But he's just one senator. Maybe some more senior members of the coalition have something more positive to say.
I believe that marriage is between a man and a woman.
I support the current definition of marriage in the Marriage Act.
Good point, guys. Marriage is a sacred institution. In fact, I believe Channel 9 has a program about the sanctity of marriage coming up.
They don't even know each other's name. Married at first sight on 9.
Incidentally, if you're gay and you know the name of your partner, Channel 9 and the federal government are not interested. Because marriage has to be between a man and a woman. Joe Hockey knows why.
We've got to aspire to give our children what I believe to be the very best circumstances, and that's to have a mother and a father.
Yeah, every kid ought to have a mother and a father. Otherwise, they might turn out to be a Batman or woman. In fact, round of applause if you agree with Joe.
And that's to have a mother and a father. And I'm not saying that, I'm not saying gay.
Oh, so that's the sound of one hand clapping. On an unrelated note, Senator Penny Wong and her partner welcomed their new baby girl into their family this week. So, Penny, on behalf of the federal government, let me be the first to say, you sicken me. But even people within Penny's own party oppose same-sex marriage, like Tony Burke, Wayne Swan, and Toad from Toad Hall.
Which way would you vote in any conscience vote?
Well, I would take the same approach as I had with all other conscience votes. I'd be talking to my electorate about it.
A bit of a worry that Chris needs to ask his electorate what his conscience tells him. But Labor leader Bill Shorten has taken a more progressive stance. Now, I must warn you, this next clip comes from the Bolt Report.
I've stood up at the Australian Christian lobby and supported marriage equality.
Yeah, whoopee-doo.
Yeah, standing up for equality. Whoopee-doo. But if this idea is going to take off in Australia, Tony Abbott's going to need some convincing. If only some people Abbott knew could get behind the cause.
A Crosby Textor poll has found that 72% of Australians want same-sex marriage legalised.
No, someone closer to Abbott.
A lobby Tony on gay marriage, says sister Christine Forster.
No, someone he really loves.
Corporate giants join push for same-sex marriage.
Yeah, that's the stuff. Now, if only a road or a coal mine could get behind it, Abbott wouldn't just support same-sex marriages, he'd officiate them. For The Roast and The Guardian Australia, I'm Mark Humphreys. Independent Senator Jackie Lambie, seen here waiting for a brain transplant, has launched her own political party, meaning you can